Here are the most thrilling enemies Iron Man encountered after going back in time. On their way to find the gems, they encountered the Hulk of the past. Fortunately, they weren't seen, otherwise they might have been killed by this brutal monster. Looking at the cargo ship behind them, everyone shook their heads silently. Each team asked Banner to smash something to see if they could recover any past memories. As a result, Banner mustered his courage, but an even more awkward scene occurred than before. The group split up as agreed, and Banner was sent to the New York Sanctum Sanctorum. He happened to run into the Ancient One, fighting the Chitauri. Banner wanted to find Doctor Strange but was refused. Helpless, Banner decided to try to steal the Time Stone. As a result, the Ancient One knocked his soul out of his body with a palm strike. At the same time, the other 3 members of each team chose to split up. Wearing his armor, Tony quietly flew to the top of Stark Tower. He witnessed the moment Loki was captured by the Avengers. Hydra agents placed the scepter in a case. While Tony was organizing the Tesseract, one person secretly slipped into his chest reactor. Scott seized the opportunity to pull the Mind Stone out of Tony's body and kick the case away. The other Tony picked it up smoothly. The mission was declared a success. However, an accident happened. Just as Tony reached the door, the Hulk suddenly appeared. The Tesseract rolled to Loki's feet. Loki picked it up without hesitation and disappeared without a trace in an instant. Meanwhile, Banner, who had never met the Ancient One, was stunned. He watched helplessly as his own body lay beside him. Helpless, Banner pointed and explained the situation to the Ancient One. When she learned that Stephen would willingly hand over the Time Stone in the future, the Ancient One immediately changed her attitude. She immediately gave the Time Stone to Banner, instructing him to return it exactly as it was after use to avoid irreversible disasters. At the same time, the team carrying the scepter was about to leave when they encountered their past selves. As soon as the two met, the past Captain America mistakenly thought the other was Loki in disguise. A fight between Captain America and himself immediately broke out. In the melee, the future Captain America and the past Captain America fought fiercely, evenly matched and unable to gain the upper hand. In the end, the future Captain America relied on his experience and successfully tricked the other again by saying, "Bucky is alive," and then stunned him with the scepter. Everyone regrouped. Although Captain America and Banner successfully obtained their stones, Tony's mission had failed. Helpless, Tony had to travel to New Jersey in 1970 to find the Tesseract and more Pym particles. But the risk of failure was also very high. Under Captain America's guidance, Tony came to SHIELD's secret warehouse. Using his smart glasses, he quickly located the Tesseract. Just as Tony was putting the Tesseract into his briefcase, he unexpectedly met his father, Howard Stark. This shocked him immensely. Howard didn't recognize Tony, but felt a sense of familiarity. The two chatted and laughed, even talking about the experience of raising children. Tony also accepted a gift from his father. The short few minutes they spent together made Tony realize that his father was not as harsh as he had imagined. Meanwhile, Captain America successfully obtained the Pym particles in the lab, but accidentally, Chuang Roulette intruded into Carter's office. Seeing the photo on the desk, his heart was filled with mixed emotions. Although he longed to be reunited with his beloved, for the sake of the great mission, he forced himself to leave, suppressing his longing. Back at the base, the team brought back different news. The good news was that Thor and Rocket successfully obtained the Reality Stone in Asgard in 2013, and Thor also retrieved his hammer. The bad news was that the Soul Stone required the sacrifice of a life to obtain. Although Hawkeye was prepared to sacrifice himself, Nebula ultimately preempted him and jumped off